What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Girl Code, a guide to self-love. And today we have a very special guest with us, and she's none other than Liz.
Hi!
Liz, do you know what we're talking about today?
Yeah, we are learning how to say no together.
Yes!
Yep.
Okay, now, previously, like literally right before this, we were just having a discussion with Patrine on the importance of self-love, self-worth, and
nice.
how learning to say no plays a very big factor in the overall mental health of a person. Right, you need to learn how to draw boundaries. But the problem with people in the 21st century is that we tend to not want to say no, or we tend to not know how to say no in a very tactful manner.
Yeah.
And the younger we are, the more prone we are to just saying yes to
Like
everything.
people pleasing, right?
Yeah, people pleasing, being a yes man, regardless of whether it's work, it's friendship, it's relationships, it's emotional, physical, even sexual, even to your families and all these kind of things. It's very, very difficult to say no.
Yeah.
But what people need to know is that saying no and drawing boundaries is very important to a person's mental health.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned just now, there are many different kinds of boundaries. So let's start with the first one. The first one is very simple. The first one is physical boundaries. I have friends, I give you an example. I have friends who don't like, or in Korean, they have this term called skinship,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people like physical touches, like hugs. They might not be very comfortable with.
Okay.
Yeah, especially like if you're talking about in a cultural context. Like when I was living in Australia, my friends tend to like to give me a hug and everything. But like in Asian context, it takes a while for a person to warm up enough to give you a hug.
For sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? So those are the kinds of physical boundaries examples that I can give. Do you guys have any personal physical boundaries that you have drawn?
I think for me, I also don't really like skinship.
Yeah.
Like even with people that I am very close with. So let's say like my own family or like my in-laws.
Partner?
No, partner is
Partner is
fine.
fine,
Oh,
right?
no, the only exception is like my husband.
Okay.
But I think in general, I don't really like it. I don't know why. I find it very dirty. Sorry. No, I think it's
I
just
took
like
a shower, man.
like I don't like random like people like touching me. Yeah, I think I have to get into a mood as well.
Nicole's gonna hate me by the end of this.
No, but I feel like in Singapore, right? I feel like girls are very touchy.
I agree.
Like very good friends are very touchy.
I agree.
Like
I
Amanda
agree.
beside me.
Excuse me. That's because we've been friends for like what, 6
I
years?
really agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's something that I was a bit shocked, when I came, because I did school in Melbourne, and so when I came back after high school, I was like, why is everyone like calling me like babe? Why is everyone like hugging and
So
like touching me?
affectionate
And I just thought it was a bit weird. Yeah.
Right.
What about yourself, Liz?
I feel the same. I can resonate with her.
So you don't like to hug?
I'm okay if we are good friends.
Okay.
Like at least we have one or two conversations that are not so shallow. But opposite sex, like definitely no.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I like my safe distance, like the 1 meter safe distancing. I like that. Like if you get too close, I will actually move back.
So I'm sure you
Right?
love the
Yeah.
COVID restrictions.
I
that
love
we used
it.
To have.
I love it.
1
yeah.
meter safe
I
distancing.
don't like, because I think I have a little bit of claustrophobic, just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like my space.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think I have a problem with saying no to the opposite sex, but the same sex, I think maybe I'll be like, oh, like they're just being friendly.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but do you feel that, has there ever been a case where you guys feel that you have overstepped someone else's physical boundary? Because
I don't think
I feel
so.
like physical boundaries are not very spoken about.
For
You
sure.
you always like hear a very common thing about emotional boundaries,
Yeah.
and relationship boundaries
Yeah.
and things like that.
Oh,
But
that's true.
Even physical things are like physical boundaries are still boundaries, and not a lot of people, like if I first meet you, right, and you're like, oh, nice to meet you. Oh, I haven't seen you in such a long time.
Oh, yeah.
You tend to be like, yeah. But nobody really has known how to say no. So because of that, there are a lot of times where people will tend to overstep other people's boundaries because like, oh, I personally am comfortable with. I don't know if the person's gonna be comfortable with it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You know, there's never this spoken conversation because nobody really is very aware of physical boundaries as well. So has there ever been a time where you feel like you might have crossed someone's physical boundary based on like how they reacted? For example, if I give Nico a hug right now and she just like, you know, I know like that's her telling me, no, don't give me a hug, don't touch me, you know what I mean? Yeah. But if you first meet someone or like you've met someone a few times, but you guys never really had this conversation about it. Yeah.
I think for me, no.
Really?
Because I don't usually initiate
I
that
see.
physical interaction with someone that I've just met.
I see.
But let's say, but if it's a good friend and like, you know, like me and you, it's fine lah. I was just exaggerating at the start. Like if you want to hug me, it's fine. But not too
She has no
excessively.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. No.
What about yourself?
Me too.
Liz?
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll initiate like any physical contact.
Okay.
Anybody.
Just like,
Okay,
Yeah.
I think a little bit more about physical boundaries. You know, we are all in social media
Yeah.
where everyone is friendly. Or
Agreed.
everybody tries their very best to be friendly, especially now because, you know, restrictions have eased. We go for events and meetings and we have physical meetups with sometimes clients and things like that. And they you know, approach us for like a hug and like and things like that. I personally am okay with it. I'm
Right.
quite comfortable with hugs. I'm not so conscious, but you know, do you guys experience any of this where you like literally just met someone for the first time or like this is the first time you guys meet and you're like, oh, I'm gonna head off soon, bye babe, and then they give you a hug?
oh yeah. I think for sure I have met those situations, but I mean for the sake of like, like cordialship.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
it's fine. But any more than that, it's
Have
like,
you ever raised like, oh, I'm not comfortable with that?
No.
Why do you think that is?
I think because it's only a short thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't go
Split second.
excessively
Yeah.
above what I'm not comfortable with.
But do you
Oh.
think it's important for people to be able to raise that up even if they've met someone for like the first time?
I think if it really bothers you, you should raise it up. Yeah, so the other person knows like in the future not to do it. But if you're like okay with it, but just not very happy with it, like you're okay with dealing with it, then I think it's fine to just
Yeah.
let it slide. Yeah.
But sometimes you wouldn't know when, if you will ever see the person again. You know what I mean? So it's very weird to raise it up like, try not to hug me next time. Like, I won't even know if I'll see you again.
But do you
dude.
think there's like a better way of saying like try not
or,
to
or maybe next time when you meet the person, you can be like, hi.
Exactly.
Like
Or
you
like,
initiate it
yeah.
first, right?
bye. Yeah.
Bye, then you run away.
Oh, okay. So this is running away. I thought this was saying bye to somebody. I got really confused for a while. Okay. So how do you think a person should approach this kind of situation? If let's say I don't really know if, like, for example, you mentioned I don't really know if I'm gonna see the person again.
Yeah.
But I know that I am not comfortable with hugging.
Yeah.
How do you think someone should approach this matter?
But you're gonna see the person again?
You
You might not.
You may or may not.
Okay, but
But if you do, you want to make sure, you want to make it known to the person that the next time you see me, please try not to give me a hug.
Oh, that's hard.
no, I think you did it very well just now when I tried to touch you. You're like,
like that.
Don't you think that's a little bit rude though?
Like,
a little bit
try
rude
it
though.
again.
maybe without the facial expression.
Oh, okay, like,
Yeah.
like that.
I think that is like, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No?
Is there not like a better way to say this? I feel like this is not a very fruitful conversation. I mean, if it were me, I'll be like, I'll just be like, I'm not. This is not what I'm too comfortable with physically, but it was really, really lovely to meet you.
But that sounds weird.
Yeah, I would be like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. Like, you know, right?
Do you think there will ever be like a better way to put it?
I think for me, I'll just avoid the situation altogether.
Me too.
Okay, let's say next time. Okay, the first time I meet the person, like, fine. Like, it's not that bothersome for me. So I'll just give you a hug. I'll just accept it. Okay. But the second time, if I meet the person and I'm still not comfortable with it, I would either say hi from a distance. Hi. Or like maybe
I like how you reenacted.
or like maybe give a handshake.
Okay.
Or if it's in a bigger group setting, I will meet with other friends and then let other friends hug them first and then just say hi at the side. You know,
Okay.
like avoid the situation altogether.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what if you have no choice but to confront it?
Well, then I'll just say sorry. I don't like it.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Whatever.
I get what Nicole is trying to say. So maybe like on the first time you accept it because you don't know if you're going to see the person again. But I think if you do see the person on the second time, you can just mention that that is not in your comfort level or your... Because I think currently, as of right now, we are all very comfortable with the ability to say no.
Yeah.
And to all these kind of things, because everyone is slowly learning. Like the internet is starting to open up all these conversations about boundaries. So I think at this point of time, like if it was in the past when nobody had these kind of conversations, it might be a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
But now I feel like everyone's a little bit more comfortable with it. Yeah.
Agree.
Okay.
But I think side hug is fine though.
It's
No?
like
Like, bye.
okay.
Yeah, I think just like
But the front one is like, oh.
When your chest is touching
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
else's chest.
Like, bye.
and then the
I'm
other
good.
person's chest just touching you.
Then her breath is like at your ear. No, I'm kidding.
It's like, oh gosh.
I don't think...
Nah, I'm just exaggerating.
Yeah. Okay. Now that we've spoken about physical boundaries, the next set of boundaries we have to address is the emotional one. Now, this is a very big category because physical one is all about physical touch, right?
Yeah.
Emotional one is all about your relationships and your mental health.
Yeah.
So there is a few kinds. There are a few kinds of emotional boundaries that you have to set. You have the friendships, you have the family relationships, and then you have the work relationships in which you have to learn how to say no. So I think when it comes to friendships, from a personal level, I feel that it's quite simple because if your friends are really close, when you say no, they're like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they understand.
Yeah.
If it's acquaintance and you say no, if you have a very logical explanation for it, they will still say, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
You know? But for family, that's where it gets a little bit sticky because they're like, but we're family.
Yeah, we should talk about everything.
Yeah, exactly. Even if like you're super uncomfortable with it or like you have a family gathering and you honestly just cannot make it because you have like made a prior engagement or like there are just things that are a little bit more important than that. There is the importance to say no, but a lot of people don't feel comfortable with saying no because of the word family.
Yeah, and I guess like obligation towards the elderly. Like you feel that you have to respect them.
No,
and, like,
especially in Asia.
yeah.
I feel like family in Asia is such a big thing. Like if you're in a Western country, it's like a mindset where, when you hit 18 and you graduate from high school, you're moving out.
Yeah.
Right? But in Asia, we don't have that kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
always like, let me cook for you. Let me feed you. Do you have clothes to wear? And all this kind of thing. It's very overwhelmingly loving sometimes. Right? Have you ever had problems saying no to family?
100%. I used to struggle with it a lot, actually.
no.
Yeah, because like I didn't know how to draw the line between what I'm responsible for and what I'm not. So everything I'm like a yes man. So I just say okay to every request, and then I got so burnt out.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so like not only in terms of acts of service, in terms of like their emotional baggage as well, just like pour it on me, and I'm like, am I supposed to handle it at like freaking 15 years old? Yeah, so it's really really tough, but there's always two sides of the coin. Like I definitely grew a lot from it, so now I know how to handle everything.
That's
I'm like
good.
a master at handling my parents.
Master.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess like for me,
Especially because you have so many siblings.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but the thing is, I don't have a problem saying no to my immediate family.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
feel that between me and my parents and my sisters, we're very close. If I don't want to do something, I'll just tell them, nah, like I don't want to do it.
Oh, that's
But
really good.
now that I am married, there's like the in-law side, right?
Oh.
And I find it very difficult to say no to
Yeah.
them because obviously I didn't like grow up with them, not as comfortable with them, and I feel obliged to like, you know, say yes to everything that they want or like to answer to every question that they ask, even though sometimes I might not be comfortable with it.
Right.
I just got married in Jan, so I'm still like trying to learn like how
Yeah.
to cope with that. And I think like in the previous podcast you mentioned, you know, if you keep on saying yes to everything that you're not comfortable with, it sort of builds up and then you go like boom,
Explode.
you
Yeah.
explode. I think I probably reached that point maybe a few months ago. So now I'm trying very tactfully to say no to things that I'm really not comfortable about. But it's very difficult. So like for example, sometimes they will ask like, when are you having kids?
Okay.
That's
It's
a very
okay.
difficult conversation to
Yeah,
have sometimes.
like it's okay if you ask it like maybe one time or like 2 times,
Okay.
but if you constantly sort of bring it up, it gets very burdensome
Yeah.
after a while, and you sometimes don't really want to share the reasons as well.
Yeah.
Because it can be private.
Yeah.
So yeah, like questions like this and like many other things as well. Like I'm still trying to deal with it properly. Yeah.
I think for me it's with the extended family.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with a very close extended family. Like my grandma made sure that we are all super, super close. And we always say we all did it for her. We all did it for her.
Mm-hmm.
But as in the good side of it is that because I'm the only child, I feel like I grew up with cousins. They feel like siblings to me.
Yeah.
But then the downside of it is that because they become so close, you feel guilty when you don't turn
Yeah.
up for certain occasions, especially to my grandma. Because all she wants, what would make her truly happy is for everybody to be together. But you know, because of COVID and everything, eventually we had to all say no because COVID, it's just not possible to
Yeah.
do it. So
Yeah.
I think after a while we got a little bit more comfortable with saying no. We learned to, like, I think as a family as a whole, to learn
Yeah.
to like oh, if I really cannot make it, I really cannot make it. I
Yeah.
simply don't have the time to make it anymore and that kind of thing. So I feel like COVID helped.
Yeah.
You didn't need to see them.
Yeah. But I feel like it's always, for me personally, it's always easier to say no to people that I don't really, how do I put it in
Like
a nice way? Like, I don't really care.
Like their
Oh, no.
opinions, their opinions
doesn't
don't
affect
really
me.
affect you.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
true.
So like for people that I really, really hold close to my heart, it's so hard to say no to them. And I'll tend to like people please towards them. And then I've learned that by me people pleasing, it's a form of manipulation. So when I realized that, it's like quite mind blowing to me. Because you are trying to manipulate the situation, trying to manipulate the outcome by lying, like not being truthful. So when I learned that, I was like, okay, yeah, I gotta be truthful, especially to the people that I really care about.
I
Yeah.
think, have you guys ever been blamed or like, I would say not really blamed, maybe the word is criticized for saying no to family?
100%. For sure.
Nicole is thinking.
let me think. I think for me, no. Like for my immediate family, I feel like they are very, very understanding.
Oh, that's really amazing.
I'm trying to also think of like my in-laws and extended. I think no. I feel that once I have the confidence to tell them that this is overstepping my boundary, they will respect it. And it's something that I really appreciate. It's just that it's within me to find that way to tactfully say no to people that, as Liz mentioned, that I really care about, right? Because
Yeah.
of their opinions and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I don't think I've ever got criticized within my family to say, when I say no. Yeah.
Maybe because you have always been like that. But if
Yeah.
you were a people pleaser and you decide to switch suddenly, then they will start to like, hey, why are you being like that?
There's that expectation
Yes,
that you are
exactly.
going to turn up for them.
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
I guess not for family, but for my I keep on mentioning this for my ex-boyfriend. He's
Oh,
like,
damn.
so So if I say like,
spill the tea.
yeah, so like in my previous relationship, I talked about this in the previous podcast as well. But if I say no, then he would like manipulate me, like in your words, right? Like try to make me feel
Passive aggressive.
Exactly, and then I'll
Like
be like, oh, hell.
it's the kind of like, okay lor, like that lor.
Yeah,
You don't
You
want,
just
don't
have to be like,
want,
don't
lor.
want lor.
yeah, yeah.
Then cold treatment.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Give me a break.
Yeah, I think for me as well, I feel like I've gone through my fair share of criticism, especially because when you are young, and like, you know, family gatherings is like a habitual thing for my entire family. So when my friends didn't get it, like my close friends didn't get it, and I was like, after a while, when I was like a teenager, I keep thinking, yeah, why do I have to go every single week? If I don't go this week, I can go next week. Okay, I'm just going to go out with my friends for this week. And I told my mom, I'm just going to go out with my friends this week. And my mom was like, no, you can't. We have family gathering to go from. I was like, yeah, but I can go next week, right? He said, yeah, but everybody's going to be there except you. And then I'm like, okay. Because like
I can totally picture it, man.
what am I gonna say to counter whatever my mom said? She said everybody's gonna be there, and I'm
half.
and I'm like going to be the black sheep, and I don't want to be the black sheep, you know, because
Yeah.
you're like a child that didn't really
Mm.
have a mind of her own, and then like. So I was like, okay, then I'll just go for that. So I ended up going anyway.
Go for the gathering.
Yeah. But when was it that you realized that you had to draw these boundaries, these emotional boundaries?
I think Nicole started really young, right? With your immediate family. Like, no.
Like, I think it was cultivated in a way. Like,
Yeah, I think it was like you said, cultivated, and also because I feel like they respected me a
That is
lot
so
for my own
amazing.
decisions, and I took accountability for some of the stuff that I said no to. Obviously,
Okay.
like
Oh,
I
that's
would
very
learn
good.
right
Yeah,
as I grow.
Yeah.
That was for the family aspect, and I guess for the relationship aspect was when I broke up with the ex again.
Wait, how long have you guys been together?
Well, around like two and a half years.
Okay.
Yeah. It was only after that I realized to self-love, to have emotional boundaries.
Yeah.
And don't waste my time over like people that I shouldn't matter and like stuff.
it's
like
like
that.
an epiphany.
Yeah,
Like, why did I do?
yeah.
You were saying just now, like, why am I like that?
Yeah,
I shouldn't be
yeah.
like that.
Like I shouldn't compromise myself for someone else. Yeah.
What about you, Liz? When did it register to you that it's okay to say no?
I think when it really became like too much for me to handle with my mostly parents. I mean, honestly, I love them.
Of course.
Yeah, like, and I don't blame them. Like, I don't hold any grudges. But it was a really complicated situation. Nobody taught them about boundaries. Hence, I didn't know anything about boundaries. I'm still learning, to be honest. So when it got too much, and then I started questioning. So when I started questioning, and I started learning, and then I applied it, it worked. So I kept going to that route. Yeah, so I'm really proud of my growth. Good job, Liz.
Good job.
You know when
Good
I learned
job.
how to say no?
When?
I learned how to say no when I had a very bad like internal conflict with myself. So
Okay.
much so that I broke down.
Okay.
You guys know how much I love Titan. Titan is my everything.
Yeah.
But there was this one day where like
Was that recent?
quite recent.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Like it was very bad. Basically, you know how like I hold quite an important position in the company, and I take it upon myself when things happen and when things don't happen.
Yeah.
And I always say I'm okay to thank like everything, but like there are times where like I lose a bit of myself
Right.
and my personal self because I'm a member of Titan.
Right.
And then it came to a point of time where like how literally had to text me and say, Amanda, if you cannot eat, it's okay. I don't blame you. He had to like call me out for being a little self-absorbed brat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like he was like, if you really cannot, then you really cannot, and I cannot blame you, and I totally understand. And then he sort of like told me like he because like they like I think people in Titan, like the staff and everything, they also know that like they also know a lot of things that I do for Titan. And I always take it upon myself to be very, very responsible for not just my own work, but a lot of their own also.
Yeah.
And how I kind of tell me, you know, you have to realize it's not everything you have to do it on your own. It's okay, and he'll have to. He literally had to talk to me and tell me if you want to say no, it's okay. And for your boss to tell you that, in a work context, it's a very big thing. Where in the world would an employer come and tell an employee and says, I mean, even though he is my friend, he's still my boss. Where in the world would an employer come and tell an employee, if you cannot, just say cannot?
No, I think that's quite normal though, no?
Really?
Yeah.
I felt so strange about it, because it's like, yes, he's my friend.
Yeah.
He is also my boss. But like, I myself internally could not take the fact that I had to say no.
Yeah, I think like the emotional boundaries at work is probably very different as how you would deal with it in a personal setting.
Yes.
So like, let's say even for my work right now, so if I'm in the tech sector, right, and now everyone is laying off like Meta, Twitter. So my company as well, like the employees are quite nervous and
100%.
and we're trying to like, you know, work really hard to like avoid that situation. And of course there's going to be emotional like burnout. But I think the most important thing probably for me is like, I try to only worry about the things that I can control. And I try to set very clear boundaries between work and personal life.
Yes.
So, for example, at dinners, I try not to look at my phone. After a certain amount of time, like a certain amount of time at night, I say, okay, I'm done for the day. Like, I don't want to, you know, like burn out in the long run. Because obviously, career is a marathon. It's not a race, right?
It's a marathon.
And I think like just trying to do your best, but then knowing your boundaries as well is very important. So like, I know for you are really like emotionally invested in the company.
Yes.
Sometimes when I go for like media dinners with Amanda, right, she's like always on her phone, like like yeah, always replying texts and stuff. So hopefully, you know, that breakdown made you
Can you tell that Nicole
realize
always wanted to touch me, but
I can tell. I observe.
you have emotional boundaries.
yeah,
and-
but I think ever since then, I really like, I learned to like, okay, when it's work hours, I finish my work. I finish. I do what I need to do to get the job done. And if I do have to like, you know, set out some hours over the weekends to get those done, because I did not manage to do it during my formal work hours, that is on me.
Yeah.
Because my job as a producer is to get things done. That's what a producer does. A producer produces. So as long as, for now, I'm like, okay, if I can get this done, means I can chill a little bit more. And I also learn your method. I try not to look at my phone on weekends. Yeah,
But you still do, right?
I mean, we're in the social media and tech sector, so if you use your phone, it's in a way comprehensible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now that, wow, we have spoken about a lot of things. It's been a while. Okay, now let's talk about like the very last step of boundaries that nobody really likes to talk about, because it can get quite uncomfortable.
Yep.
And that's like the
Taboo.
the sexual boundaries. Learning to say no in intimacy, I would say. Like, it's not just about the situation, but it's also about like your first kiss.
Yeah.
How comfortable are you with holding hands? How comfortable are you with hugging your partner? And all those kind of things. Because there are stages that builds up to that. You know what I mean? And
I feel like all of us are married. I'm trying to think about like my dating phase long time ago. Like,
yeah.
I can't remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you still remember?
I remember really clearly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like
Your first date with Maxi. Oh, look at her blush.
okay, so like as a parent. Okay, so I feel like cause now that I'm a mom, I feel like it's so important to talk about sexual boundaries. Actually, all three are really important: physical, emotional, and sexual. They are all really important. But I feel like if I have a daughter, I really emphasize about sexual boundaries because it's not being taught to me, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
But I'm still glad that I didn't like do anything that I really regret when I was really young. So I had my first kiss at like maybe 14. Yeah, it was just a peck, and then I was like saving it for our first monthsary kind of thing, you know. So like he actually kissed me in 2 weeks, and I'm like, I was so sad about it. I was like, I was saving it for our first one. And like, I know it sounds so stupid, okay, but yeah.
But when you're young and it's your first kiss, you want it to be special.
Like, exactly. I wanted it to be like magical. And then, but he didn't really cross any, like sexual boundaries. And there was progress after that. And then I tried to say, no, actually I didn't try to say no. I wasn't comfortable with it, but I didn't say no because I was afraid that if I say no, he might like
He will leave
love
you.
me a bit lesser or like leave me. So that's like a type of abandonment issue that I had that I didn't know that I have. So I felt like guilt and shame after that. So it was really, really bad. And then after I felt that way, I tried to communicate with him. I think he was 2 years older than me. Then he was like, no, everyone's doing it, it's fine. And
Yeah, there's that
right?
everyone is doing it thing.
Because we didn't go like all the way, right? So he
Yeah.
was like, it's fine, everyone's doing it, it's normal. And but at the same time, I didn't feel very comfortable with it. So now looking back, I could have said no. And obviously I don't even like, honestly I kind of forgot his name. like if I said no, then like it wouldn't matter, guys. So if you want to say no, just say no. I think people that really loves you and genuinely have good intentions for you, if you say no, they will respect that. Yeah. But it's really hard to get when you're 14.
Yeah.
Like really, really hard.
Yeah,
So
because you're young and impressionable. You
Yeah.
just want to please everybody. I
Yeah.
think when you're a teenager, that's just generally how life works.
Yeah.
Like, you just want to say yes to everything.
yeah. And like it also depends on what you want. I feel like I wanted my first kiss to be really magical. It should be magical. It shouldn't be like just whatever, you know? Yeah. I don't know if we can talk about sex.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. I also wanted my first sexual experience to be magical. So I'm also really glad that I did it when I was 18. And what's the legal age? 16, is it?
16 in Singapore.
That's so young, I
Exactly.
think.
I was
Yeah.
shocked when I found out that it's 16. I thought it's
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
So I waited until 18. So I was like, okay, it's going to be really magical, like candles and like whatever. Nothing like that. I was so disappointed.
Same.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I lost my virginity at 19.
Uh-huh.
So I really wanted it to be magical as well because a lot of people were like, oh, you know, like my first time was so nice, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if they were lying or not.
Oh, I've never heard that. But
Yeah.
I wanted it to be magical.
I wanted it to be very magical
Yeah.
as well. But then when it happened, I was like, wow, that's it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, okay.
Is this what it feels like? That's kind of gross.
If I could turn back time now. Yeah, but
Yeah.
anyway, it should be magical.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we've spoken about like the various categories of boundaries, maybe let's just give some advice on what's a good way to set boundaries. I feel like, or maybe I'll start. I feel like one very important way to set boundaries is being able to, like you said, phrase your words well.
Yeah.
To say no.
Yeah.
Because people who really, really understand you, they would accept the no
For sure.
immediately. Like if I were to tell Liz, because Liz and I, like, we go way back, right? If she was like, hey, can you help me? And I'm like, and I really, really cannot, right? I would say, I would really love to, but I really can't. Yeah. Because of X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
There's always a reason. You don't just say no just
Yeah.
because you feel like saying no, okay?
Yeah.
And I think in work context as well. Like, I'm very fortunate to have one of my old-time friends as my boss, but not everybody has that luxury.
Right.
So how do you even open up that conversation to say no? You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think like besides just phrasing the words nicely and like tactfully, I guess another advice would be to be very confident in what you believe in and be assertive. Because one downside of trying to like phrase things very nicely is that the other person might think that it's not a big deal to
Take
you.
it lightly.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, try to push you, and then you're like, oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But once you do it, you know, you go back to square one again,
Yeah.
right? So at least know what you really stand for and be very assertive when that happens. Yeah.
For me, I mean, I use two like techniques. It's very strategic. So like
Strategy.
first one is like the sandwich theory. Do you know?
No.
Oh, okay. So sandwich
What?
theory is like, okay, so you say something good, and then
Okay.
you say something that you want to change, and then you wrap it up with a good conclusion. It's like, okay, Amanda, actually I really love working in Titan, and like, I feel like it means so much to me. However, I feel like recently there's too much workload. I really care about my family. I want to spend some quality time with my parents. Do you think I can do that? Because if I can do that, I feel like I will appreciate my work so much better. Sandwich theory, guys.
Wow.
Can someone please give like Liz like a cookie or like brownie points for that?
Right.
Nice.
So this is the first one. The second one is that it's for people that doesn't respect me.
Okay.
Yeah. So for example, if they touch my thigh and I don't like it, I'll be
You
like,
should be like, stop it, you perv. No, I'm just kidding.
no, I'll be like, why are you touching me? Yeah, like question back.
Okay.
And I just wait for their response. Or like,
Okay.
why are you talking to me this way?
Okay.
Yeah. Or why are you raising your voice?
Okay.
Yeah, but like
You
look at
sound
them
like
in
you're
the
scolding
eye.
Rain.
Yeah.
By the way, for those who are tuning in, Rain is her son. You
Yeah,
sound like
yeah.
you're scolding.
Why are you touching me?
Why are you doing this?
But some people just doesn't care. It's like they know what they are doing exactly, but they just want to do it. So we really have to put them in their place. Yeah, especially because if you are a girl in a work setting, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the car industry, there's a lot of males. So sometimes
100%.
they are just like,
Very
yeah,
rowdy.
yeah, very rowdy, and they definitely sometimes people just want to take advantage of you. So you gotta
like know how to
protect yourself.
protect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drawing boundaries ultimately all comes down to, I think, protecting yourself.
Yeah.
And again, loving yourself. And I think to end off this entire podcast, you just know that everybody has a different set of boundaries. Something that she's comfortable with might not be something that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
Something that Liz is comfortable with might not be something that you are comfortable with. And this goes for all different categories of boundaries, not just physical, mental, sexual. Anytime you feel like you have to draw a boundary, just know that it's different for everybody, and there is no strict book or guideline as to what you can or cannot do.
Yeah.
It's really how you feel and what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and with that said, thank you, Liz, for joining us for
Thank
this
you.
podcast. And yeah, if you guys have anything else you'd like us to talk about, do let us know in the comment section down below. And that's it for this episode. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Instagram code.